I'm going to be setting up a patient in the lateral decubitus position so that we can demonstrate the upper extremity BoneFoam positioners. The first thing we want to do with someone in the lateral decubitus position is make sure that the axilla is appropriately protected. BoneFoam has the axillary bump, which is designed to protect the axilla. The axillary bump doesn't work with the upper extremity wedges, so we use this small cylinder for that purpose. So I'm going to scoot the patient up like so. This will rest right under her latissimus, leaving the axilla free of any pressure. The next thing I want to do is create a platform for the upper extremity wedge positioner. One can either use a hand table or these two armboards side by side. Ideally, it is better to use something radiolucent so that you don't compete with any of the metal that might be in the armboards. So this is the first BoneFoam upper extremity piece that I'm going to demonstrate. You can see that there's an offset tunnel, and the narrow side goes up toward the head of the patient. It's narrower so that it won't be in the way of the endotracheal tube or in the way of the face, which allows for anesthesia to access the patient's airway. I'm going to simply scoot this up against the patient, like so. And you can see that we have this new modification of the block by cutting these corners in such a way to make sure that the endotracheal tube does not compete with the corner of the block. That's a recent modification. Now this would be something that I use for distal humerus fractures, possibly olecranon fractures. And some people prefer the elbow to just be at 90 degrees, like so, while doing this work. You can also see another feature is that because of the offset tunnel, the surgeon can manipulate the elbow to one side or the other while imaging, so that you get the opposite extremity out of the way. An alternative to this 90-degree position would be our upper extremity positioner, which allows for some extension of the elbow, which I will demonstrate next. This is again part of our upper extremity series, and you can see that there's a much larger offset surface here, yet there's still an offset tunnel. This allows us to be able to access the down extremity and protect it from the IV, and make sure the IV is not kinked, even allow anesthesia to access it. We're not burying it in blankets or towels like what was once done, so the upper extremity can then just simply drape over this upper extremity extended piece. Again, it has the cutout, which then allows for the endotracheal tube to not compete with the wedge positioner. These come in different sizes as well to accommodate both small and large frames. The upper extremity wedge and block in this case are under the drape, and I almost always use it that way. Conceivably, one could bring it in over the drape, but what I do is simply drape out the wedges in this fashion. I'm just showing a U-drape here. You could use an extremity drape as well. This is what the working surface would look like with the patient draped.